Hello. Today's lesson is about the proportion. And what is the proportion? When we are looking of an object like that one, very simple shape, and we want to draw it, we have to compare the width of this with the height of this. Then first thing that we are doing is to compare the width with the height or height with the width. And you have to have a ratio. For example, for that one is that the height until the neck is 2 times of width. Then this is some things that we are looking of these to have a realistic drawing. Then proportion is very important for us. When we are looking of the one object and we are making these objects, okay, then we are comparing the width and height with that object. What if we have two objects like that one? And then in this case is that you have to compare these two objects and see that when you want to add the second object, when it's started, when if you compare it with the first object, where is the height of this in compare with the first object? What is the ratio again for the this object and compare the height and width of the one object by itself. So we're gonna start with a simple shape. Always when we want to have a proportion, even it's a face or it's a skull or a still life, start to make the shape very simple. Then continue from that. Okay, the object that I'm using today is these two objects. And I have an apple and I have a bottle of wine. I'm not gonna draw these things. Okay, then this is not a part of plan. We don't want to have the labels. Just make it in somehow that one of them is closer to you, and like that one, and a little overlapping. And overlapping means that this apple, for example, cover a part of, not completely, but a part of your bottle. We're gonna start with the bottle. And when I'm looking of this with the and compare, you can compare it and compare it like that. Then this is the left side of your object, this is the right side of this, and look at this from the distance. And when you have the smallest part, that for us is the width, then compare it with the height of this and see that how much we have to add to it to have the height. The same time, just divide it to different parts. For example, this cylindric part is one part. I call it shoulder. This shoulder part is one part, and the neck part is another part. So if you compare it, the width with the height of until the shoulder is almost the height is 2 times more than width. I have an apple here. The first thing that I'm doing is I have to think about the other object that I have. Then I cannot start from here and don't have a space for my apple. Okay, then I'm gonna start with the here, and I say, okay, I want to all things almost be that, large. We're gonna change it if it's necessary, but this is the first thing that I'm doing. And I told you that this part is that you're making a very simple rectangular shape. Okay, that cylinder, when we are looking of this, it's very simple cylindrical shape. Remember that we are making the shape abstract. When you're making something simple, you're making it abstract. And after we made it abstract, again with the details and everything, we're gonna make it more realistic. Compare always. You see that by purpose I made this part wider than this part. Actually it is not. Then if I'm looking of here and you can compare it and you see, okay, this is not the same of the top part, then I have to make the bottom part a little wider. Again, mostly you have to compare the shape that you have, especially that it's your first time. And other things, vertical lines. These vertical lines, they have to stay vertical. You cannot make them, you know, like, let me I show you that's how it's gonna look like. But if I'm making it with the angle, a little angle here, it's not, you know, with a little angle, everything's gonna change. It's not a angular shape, it's just vertical shape. Then you have to make it vertical. Then this is the first thing that we are making. This is bottom part. So for the shoulder and for the neck, we have to know where is the center of this. You see, with your eyes, just guess that where is the center of your rectangular shape and just continue it. But before you continue, be sure that this line is exactly in the center. Then just somewhere of this, you check it. And again, if I'm going with a little of the angle, then everything's gonna change. Okay, then be sure that your line is straight and continue of this. Then I have a shoulder. The very simple shape that I can make with this shoulder. And if you're looking of this, it's very short kind of the shoulder. If I'm, you know, making it like that and like that, then the shoulder is gonna be very longer that I want. Then just remember that we want to have a triangle shape. It's the simplest things that I can add for this to make a shoulder, singular shoulder. Okay, and for the neck, how much shoulder I have, I think it's gonna be until here. Then I'm gonna add another rectangular shape here. Look at this part and this part, they have to be symmetrical. Then if I see that it's not the same distance, then I made a mistake somewhere. Then change it. And changing is not a problem. I'm changing my drawing times and times to get whatever that I want. Then this is the first object that I have, and I made it with the comparison of the height and width. And then I just added a simple shape to make, you know, analyze the shape and make it very simple. Then we're gonna add the details on this. But before I do it, I want to have my apple. The apple that I have here, it's everything that it's lower, it's closer to you. Then if the apple is closer to me, it is lower. Even if it's a little lower, then make it a little lower. But don't make it in the top part of the bottom of your bottom. Okay, this is here. And the same time, I have a almost the top part is coming until here. Okay, then I'm gonna make a box for my uh, apple, but I have to compare the width, I'm using a wider part, to the height of this. It's look like a square shape, you know, then mostly make it like a square. This is the box that I'm making for the placement of this, and I know that we have a overlapping here. How I can make this shape a little simple? I think that we have a round shape here. It's mostly like a oval, not completely round. And from the each of these ones, I can make a trapezoid maybe here, like that. Okay, then this is, and I have a round shape here too. Then this is how we are making our shapes, just with the comparing the width and height. And I don't need this line because it's overlap with a apple, and all of these lines that it's not necessary, I'm gonna erase it. Right now I'm using of the wine charcoal, and I'm using of the newsprint. So now is that I'm looking of the object and see, okay, the top part of this one, it's a little coming with the angle here, and I'm changing it to a little angular shape. Okay, and it's coming here, that it's top part of this, and after that this part is round shape. It's not that angular that I made it, and this is the round shape, and this part is round too. We talk about the lines, contour lines, quality of lines, how we are making it more beautiful with the using of darker area, lighter, and make the lines darker, and how we are making some part of these lighter. Then just try to remember all of them when we are going to other lessons. Still we are using of whatever that we learned in the last lesson. Then this gonna be like that. We have a little maybe rectangular shape that it's larger here too. We can add these ones here, and I think these ones coming a little lower. The bottom part of the round shape, like this bottle, they are always round. Then we are not coming with the straight line. This is always round. This part I have more light, I can see it better, and it's getting less here. I'm gonna make this part a little lighter. And remember, when you're doing it with the pencil, you're doing the same. Look at the reflection that we have, and then actually we are going to add the details on the bottle with the, you know, I see a reflection of the apple here, and I'm making this reflection here, and I see just this part a little darker. The other part is not that dark. For the apple, add as much as you have the different shadow, light, reflections, just adding it to it. For example, for me, it's continue and making it like a shape that we have here. Then continue with whatever that you see here and make it with more and more details. For the apple, okay, it's not that simple. I see a little of the more flat shapes here going and coming back with the round and more flat things here. It's coming with the, again, you can make it geometric and simple, then you're gonna add the details, and it's not symmetrical. Okay, this is not in the center, and for sure that we have this shape. I can see that the same reflection, not the same, but we have more reflection here too. I can see a reflection of whatever that I have on the table, and this is gonna be the stick that we have here. Okay, then this is how you're making both of them with the proportion. Again, if you see, it's not in the center because it's not in the center. It's an organic shape, and it's not exactly like a geometric shape that we have. Then you're looking of these two and see, is it exactly the same or it's not? If it's not, just change it and just improve your drawing after that. Don't forget to make the shadow. The shadow, when they are closer to your object, make them sharper, darker, and it's getting further, then you can make it just lighter and getting disappear to the space. Okay, so this is about the proportion, and you're doing it both with the wine charcoal and with pencil.